40-7 is the final, as it was a splattering in Maryland for this Washington Commanders team that was, pretty fantastic in every facet of the game. We'll get more into the game as I go along, but I got to start with an update for our guy, our QB1. That's JD5. Mr. Jayden Daniels did go down on the first drive of the game, was taken out of the game, put into the tent, then taken to the locker room. I feel like he was probably x-rayed in there. It hasn't been anything confirmed, but he did suffer an injury to the ribs, okay? He had a quarterback keeper, ran for about, 50 yards almost. Didn't slide, though. Seemed like he hurt himself. Next couple plays, he stayed in there, right? Had another play where he ran, slid and got down, and then after just a little bit, he was pointing to his ribs, looked like he was really hurting. They took him out of the game, and then he got some trainers were attending to him on the sideline, decided it was best to take him to the locker room, and then he came out in the second half in that third quarter, and was in street clothes, had the little bit of the earpieces on, was still a part of the game and the coaching aspect of it, right? And just sitting there on the sideline supporting his teammates, but he did not come in. Now, I've got a couple of thoughts about that. I'll get in those in just a little bit. But before I do, welcome to the channel, everybody. This is Commanders Report by Chat Sports. I'm your fill-in host, Joey Petersen. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please do so. We are live for every single game. We are live for this game today. It was awesome. So much fun to watch a 40-7 splattering on your home turf. Of course, you hate the starting quarterback went down, but we had a blast regardless. So for a Commanders video every day of the week, for a live show almost every game for the entire year, hit that sub button. There's no better place to be on YouTube if you are a Ravens fan, a Commanders fan, and I can promise you that. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about JD5 and that injury. So, some good news was his mom tweeted out about halfway through this game saying he's fine. So I don't want to discredit the mother because of anybody. She would know how truthfully he's feeling because it's his mom. So he's going to tell his mom how he's feeling. But also, she's not a doctor. She's not a trainer. It's like, I don't know what that opinion and what that tweet does. Because, in my opinion, it doesn't do much except maybe offering you some, a little bit of encouragement. I don't know. I'm not that encouraged by it. I'd rather her tweet that out than her to tweet out, he's not fine. That's for sure. But I don't think I'm going to take that and run with it and be like, guys, he's fine. His mom tweeted it out, okay? Now, what do I personally think? I think he's okay. I really do. I think that this happened. And I think if it was a close game against a really good opponent, say it's against Baltimore last week, right? And you're down a touchdown in the fourth quarter, I think he's playing in that game, right? Now, they might have to shoot him up with some drugs in the ribs in the locker room, with some painkillers, but I think he goes out and I think he plays. But because it was against the worst team, one of the worst teams in the NFL, and because you pretty much were already up 20-0 by the time you knew what the diagnosis was, I think they just were like, okay, there's no need in risking further injury and making this more serious than it has to be, okay? So those are my thoughts. Obviously, what I think, it's not gospel, right? It's not guaranteed. It's not, hey, I said it, so this has to be. But that's my thoughts. You guys may differ from me. However, I do want to hear from y'all, and I want to know what's your one-word reaction to tonight's game, okay? Is it domination? That's maybe one of mine. Is it wow when talking about a guy like Marcus Mariota? Because that's one of mine as well. And that's where we're going to go to next. But before we do, you're about to get hit with a YouTube ad break. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's video. So reply and give me your one-word reaction to the game from this afternoon. All right, let's talk about him, okay? Let's talk Mariota. Because his stat line, 18 for 23, 205 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And when he came into this game, and after that first drive, guys, honestly, I was a little bit scared, because the Panthers get 1 touchdown. It's a 1-score game. But after those first couple drives, I hadn't seen Marcus Mariota play that good of football since he was a Tennessee Titan in year 2 of his career. He looked phenomenal. He was great on his legs, delivered multiple strikes on the run, was after those first couple drives, he was on time. Does he have the same velocity and the same precise or precision as Jayden Daniels does? No. Does he have the same speed as Jayden Daniels does? No, he doesn't. But he's almost kind of like a light version of him in every stretch of the word. But he did what she needed to do. He threw for 2 touchdowns. That one to Zach Ertz on the run was a dot. He used his legs well. He didn't turn the ball over. He was, in a word, phenomenal. Could not have been more happy to see what Marcus Mariota put on the field than what he did today. And I think it's a good thing to take away from this game is you just won a football game when the probable rookie of the year only played 1 drive. He only played 1 drive, guys. 1. And you won that football game. And I get what you're saying, okay? It was against one of the worst teams in the National Football League, and I get that. But still, guys, at the end of the day, man, a win is a win, and I think you take it in stride, and I think you're excited about it because you just won a football game with Marcus Mariota as your quarterback, okay? And at the end of the day, Brian Robinson Jr. only had 71 yards, so it's not like you just ran it down your throat. You made Marcus Mariota pass the ball 23 times, and you won the game. So could not be more happy with his performance today, okay? I got much more things to talk about, many more things to talk about. But before I do, I got to give a shout out to sponsor today's video, and that, of course, is Game Time. Game Time is the place to go for the best seats at the lowest prices guaranteed. And if you guys are so excited that football season is well underway and in full swing and want to get tickets to the next big game lockdown, I promise you, you're going to want to give Game Time a shot. It's the only place I go when I'm trying to get tickets to any college football or NFL game. Game Time actually has a new feature. It's called Game Time Picks, and that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. It filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats. You don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Game Time Picks highlights the best deals, including great and amazing deals, which is the highest value seats at the time. For some events, Game Time Picks also identifies a super deal, which is the best seat value in the venue. Guys, there's so many things I love about Game Time. Love the last-minute tickets and flash deals. Love the lowest price guaranteed. But what beats it for me, what beats every other competitor for me with Game Time is the fact that you can see the views to receipt before you even buy the ticket. And you don't just get to see straight, but you get a 180-degree panoramic view so you can see the left of you, see how close that person is. You can see the right of you, see how close that person is. And it just, man, it's such a helpful tool. So that way, when you spend a lot of money on these tickets to go see your favorite teams play, you know that you're getting the best ticket that you can get. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It is game time. All right, guys, let's talk about the defense because they deserve their flowers as much as anybody else. They let up 180 yards on the game. Less than 200 yards, okay? 95 on the ground, only 85 through the air. And I get it. You're playing against a Panthers team that at the end of the day, they're not very good. But guys, also, I think we forget this team, this Carolina team, with Andy Dalton at the helm, their offense hasn't been horrible, okay? Since Andy Dalton came in there, they scored 36 points, then 24 points, then 10, then 20, okay? So they're averaging probably somewhere around 22 points a game with Andy Dalton at the helm. And you held them to 15 points under that, and you didn't let them get triple digits when it came to pass yards or rush yards. That, my friends, is phenomenal. That, my friends, is what you want to see from this defense, okay? Because we know for the first 6 weeks of the season, for the first 6 weeks, this defense wasn't what we wanted it to be. It's not what we needed it to be. And if you're going to win a Super Bowl, I don't know if you can do it with the defense that was shown that first 6 weeks. And you need to see improvement. And you did. And again, I hear you on the other side of the screen saying, Joey, it was against the Panthers. Relax. Calm down. But guys, you got to start somewhere. And if you start against one of the worst teams in the league, that's a start. And that's something you like to see. And I was really, really proud of them. As you can see, Andy Dalton went 11 for 16, 93 yards, 2 interceptions. That first pick was massive by Fowler. Absolutely massive. Because that might be a whole different ballgame. Because I don't know if we remember it, but they were driving that game, okay? They were driving. They were at probably the 30-yard line, and then pick six. That's either a 10 to 14 point swing right there. Massive way to start a game. They were buried from the beginning. And then you kept the foot on the neck. Emmanuel Forbes Jr. came up clutch. He got a pick of his own, right? Frankie Louvu was phenomenal. This Panthers run the offense had been pretty fantastic so far this year, okay? They've been one of the better teams this year when running the football. Chuba Hubbard has 485 yards on the season, okay? They average rushing yards per game. Let me try to find it over here. They average 111 rushing yards a game, okay? That's not terrible. And you held them to 95. And you did it without Jonathan Allen, okay? You did it without some key pieces. I think that front seven stepped up in a major way. And I loved it, okay? So you played one of your best games defensively. Even with the backup quarterback, you played one of your best games offensively. And there's just not much more I could say about this team. Proud of the way they fought. Proud of the way they played. Proud of what they showed out there on tape. When a guy who's your star, who's your meal ticket, your cash cow, your golden egg, any other center I could think, when he goes down that first drive, is out for the rest of the game, it's hard to keep a team together. And boy, were they together today, okay? So what's your confidence level on this Commanders team? Does it change, all right? Does it get better? Does it go a little bit lower? You let me know, okay? What is your confidence level in this Commanders team? Let me know in the comment section down below. And again, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Joey Petersen, and it's been a blast. It was a great win yesterday. We had so much fun being live for almost, 4.5 hours? We had a great time. Commanders get the win, 47, improved to 5-2, and man, just start stacking dubs yet again.